Hello, beautiful cosmic soul, and welcome. Today I'm going to go over the idea of permission slips and how they affect your reality, and to help you remember your true power and how to move in this life so that way you can have freedom and you can manifest anything that you want. So, espresso time with Ventzi, or you can call me Venti Coffee. I hope this is your morning. It's a little bit in the afternoon for me. Maybe you're a nighttime coffee drinker. I don't know. Let's have a espresso with me, your divine feminine empowerment and spiritual awakening coach. And I'm here to move you from fear to freedom, from trauma to transcendence, from fog to clarity. While I support you falling completely in love with your life, and just when you think you can't take another step, what do all good coaches do? They give you a little shove so you can fall in love with yourself. All right, let's get it. Guess what? I don't even need to tell you. You already know. Physical reality isn't real. It's an illusion. It's a projection on a movie screen coming from your own consciousness. It's the truth. And this is from a Bashar inspired channeling video I just watched. And the thing about permission slips is whatever you believe to be true about your reality is the permission slip you're going to give it. That's why the idea of tarot or astrology. And if you ever found like a really good tarot reader, I have two I listen to on YouTube. One is Magnetize Yourself, Infinity, it's her name, and Moonlight Guidance. Very great tarot readers. I actually got a tarot deck myself. Let me actually show you. Let me actually show it to you. Hold on. So it's right here. Look at this. Look how cute it is. Little pause tarot, future in your pause. So I will be starting to do some tarot readings, starting to use my intuitive guidance for all of you here and there. Not as much as maybe I'd like. Either way, we'll see. We'll see where we go with this channel. Most importantly, though, tarot readings, and it's interesting because whenever I watch Moonlight Guidance or Infinity, and they pop up on my feed, typically that exact reading is a reflection of exactly what I'm experiencing. And they're always on point. Now, and growing up, I've heard, the conspiracy between tarot is because only people find what relates to them in that moment. Well, yeah. Like, literally, that's what it is. It's that you can relate to it in that moment, and you only take pieces and bits of those readings that relate to you now and the journey and path you're walking currently. Because tarot is predicting a possible future based on your current situation, right? And that's why you take what it resonates, because it's a projection of your consciousness. So tarot readings is really a permission slip for you to have more clarity in your consciousness and validation in a way. So that way you can guide yourself on the journey, right? And from my understanding, from what I've read so far, is the Fool, which is the major arcana that everybody starts off with, no matter what, and then towards the World card, right? So they go in numbers and sequence. This is what I'm learning so far. Okay, I got the little guidebook over there, and regardless, you're always going to be the Fool. Whether if you're flipped upside right and you're exploring and you're passionate and you're going in the right direction towards what you want, or you're flipped upside down, which could indicate some like naiveness or silliness, or you're not really focused on the future, which is also a positive because you're living in the present moment, by the way. However, it's the Fool, always on the journey, and every card in there is going to come from your either subconscious or conscious and how you're feeling, and it's going to be representative to where you're at, so that way you do gain clarity on where you're heading. So these are permission slips to allow you to realize, hey, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm heading. And it's actually wild. This is how I know this really does work. This projection of consciousness is one time, actually they're all, like I said, they're all pretty on point. Every time I do listen to their readings, they're always signifying what's exactly I'm experiencing in my journey. But what's funny though is one time with Infinity, I was working on my sunflower design for my evil eye protection solar flower. I think I might change it to source flower. Dude, I'll just get the freaking jacket. Hold on, I'll show you it. We're back. I hope your coffee's still warm. Let me get a sip of mine real quick. But here's the jacket. Source flower, their evil eye protection. This is one of my designs for the Love and Light brand. This whole channel and everything. I do have my Etsy shop closed right now. I do plan to reopen it soon when the time is right. I do have some more designs though. Either way, we got the it looks like an evil eye protection eye, right? And with this source flower because it glows. And I gave it like the fire red kind of petals in the designs. And then it has my monarch butterflies on there. This is a crop top windbreaker. And yeah, I will make this part bigger on the back and kind of add some more design to it. Either way, it was funny because I was working on this exact sunflower before I knew what it was going to become. And her reading was, she's like, I'm getting sunflowers for somebody that's representative for some reason. It's coming up. And like, she's explaining my journey, exactly where I'm at in that moment and what I'm like experiencing that like last like week. And then I literally have Photoshop open on my like other, art computer, tablet slash laptop thing. It's really cool. And it's like, it's really right open, and I'm working out because I left it on my bed, and I was just like doing some weightlifting because I usually listen to tarot card readings while I work out. And when I work out at home, when I go to the gym, I got music playing. Sometimes I'll do music. Sometimes I'll watch videos. Okay, enough about my life. And I know maybe you're interested. I don't know. Well, so either way, I have it open. She's talking about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm literally looking at the picture of me working on this thing, and I'm like, this is on point. Like, it's just so on point. So again, these type of things are all reflections. Everything in life is a reflection of how you're feeling, how you're thinking, how you're being. And people are always going to reflect these things to you, even if they're triggers. The triggers are the guides. The triggers are the guides, and they're the wormhole to that area in your life that's screaming, that's in pain, that you're refusing to look at and add awareness to and let go of gracefully. Right? And it's like, I started walking on this journey of becoming a coach, right? I'm creating content. So I'm doing two things at once, although they mesh together. I make designs, I can put them on clothes. I produce EDM music. Like, I DJ. I do so many things. And, right? So I can see like now how I can connect all these dots together. And you never really will know how the dots will connect in the moment. You can only connect the dots looking back on how things happen and how you actually created it and how it was meant for you. And showing gratitude is the biggest release towards any pain and suffering, because that is the permission slip to say, hey, I experienced this. Now I've grown, I've learned, I've evolved. The karmatic cycle can stop because I've learned the lesson. I've added awareness. I've healed or am healing, because healing's never really over. It's a constant thing. Point is, though, is what was my point? You let yourself and that trigger be the guide, right? Even in situations like that, everything is a reflection because it's showing to you an area that it's time to work through. Oh, that's why I got into all my stuff that I do. Not because I want to share myself with all of you. um, what should I do? I don't mind. I'd rather you get to know me and, enjoy my channel because of me and who I really am, not because of me being something that I'm not, which I will never ever do again, by the way. That's out the window. I will not show up in this world not being myself anymore and being vulnerable and to my expression, because that is not honoring myself. Point is, though, is yes, I do all these things, right? So essentially I have business ventures all over the place. And now I have a perfect roadmap. Now that I've learned marketing, I have my, Calendly thing for bookings coming up soon. I'm going to be taking a few clients on a beta testing program and soon. I am getting ready for a launch, right? And I've done a lot of stuff in my life, and some of the people around me, especially like my mom, she doesn't know the path I'm walking, right? 'Cause she's never done it. Where's her business? Where's all the creative stuff? And she's a great artist and a great cake designer, and she makes really good baklava because we're Bulgarian, and she could make a business out of all these things, and she's wanted to, never took in the path to do it. Why? Because people who step through things that they don't know the direction are always going to have an opinion, and they're going to reflect to you, one, their own fears and insecurities, but they're also reflecting some of your worries and concerns. That's what I mean by it's a reflection. Like deep inside you believe this, and deep inside there's a worthiness wound that you have to step through and choose and decide that their opinions, I appreciate them for having them, appreciate them for honoring their voice. I appreciate you giving me this reflection. I, however, have now realized that I'm Simba and I'm a lion, and I'm not going to hang out. Well, I am still going to hang out with my boar and mongoose friends. However, I'm not going to eat bugs because you ever see Lion King? Well, I've seen it like once or twice when I was younger. However, the lion, the little pup, lion cub, that's the one. Yeah, I think so. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, please. Anyway, he lives with them and learns their ways, and they eat bugs. Why is a lion eating bugs, right? And then I think he had that like image of his dad, right, show up in the clouds, his, essentially like kind of like his higher self, like, oh. Anyway, he's like, Simba, remember who you are. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that's how the movie went. And well, what did Simba do? Where's the steak? Where is that juicy piece of meat? I'm a lion, baby. I descend from lions. Why are you guys having me eating crickets? And the little larva thing. Yo, when I was a kid though, like there was when I was way younger in Earth years, right? Human experience years. There are these like popsicle things, like little gummies in them, Lion King ones. So good. I love them so much. Anyway, back on track. The people around you may only be eating bugs. When you have resilience, when you have the strength to step through that fire, because guess what? Those people who don't want to step through the fire are because there's going to be people like them that are going to reflect to them their opinions, their deepest triggers, their deepest wounds, reasons on why they should stop and stay comfortable here. And why don't you just come work with me at the bank? We got some good benefits. You'll have to work for like little money and long hours, but we got some good benefits. Like they're trying to keep you comfortable and what's comfortable for them, because those people who cannot see your path haven't done it. If I go up to any person who's walked a business, and by the way, I did invest in the course for me to learn marketing and learn all these things so I can pursue this dream. That's the price of admission. It means you got to pay money to learn things that nobody else around you can show you, right? So I did. I invested in myself, and I highly recommend you do too. I started buying equipment and I stopped spending money on an app on my phone. I spent a lot of money on because I was stuck in that loop of I need entertainment. Back to it though, most people are afraid to step through that fire because they know they're going to get burned, and they don't have the resilience and strength to go through the fire like you do. Because that fire doesn't just burn with other people reflecting things to them, their deepest shadows, fears, insecurities. Am I worthy enough? Am I good enough to pursue this journey? Am I strong enough to not let people's opinions dictate my actions? Because once you go through this path to starting a business, you're your own boss, baby. You're your own boss. No one's telling you to do it. No one's telling me to make a video. I mean, my consciousness is though. I mean, I am, right? Nobody's telling me to set up a calendar I think that's what it's called, like calendar, like an online calendar from Calendly, so I can get bookings. Nobody's figuring stuff out for me, how to, make sure I become an amazing coach, and I'm studying and I'm working towards it. Nobody's paying me to do that work, because I do genuinely want to support you. I do genuinely want to help others. I knew my whole life there was something very important for me to step through and assist. And, I grew up in an abusive, dysfunctional family from my dad. My dad, he abused me a lot, right? And it's like, I wanted to change the world, and I saw bad things, and it's like, it just comes down to changing yourself, because everything's just a reflection. It's a projection of your consciousness. And the thing about like tarot and everything else is it's a reflection of the changes you're making within yourself. So tarot, those readings are, again, a potential future based on where you are right now because of the changes you're making within. Your whole reality is a reflection of who you are being, how you're thinking, how you're feeling, law of attraction. What you're putting out is what you're going to get back in. So the part of the process and the journey is so very important to understand that everything's a reflection. And if you don't like something that's showing up, it's giving you specific instructions on how to be better, on how to shift and pivot and decide this is an area that I've been avoiding to improve on. With EDM production, I avoided percussion and rhythm of percussion for so long because I didn't know the arrangement and placement for them. I didn't know where to put the hi-hats, the for a while, and I avoided it because I didn't have as much fun in doing that. And then once I, figured out arrangement and sound design and kept evolving, I realized, man, percussion is the biggest thing because that needs to go into my next 8-bar loop to add more, enticing environments of dance and excitement in the transition. Like, it has to keep building and progressing. So what did I do? I went ahead and did it anyway. And then now I love percussion. It's one of my favorite freaking things because that's like the fun. Like the whole thing is fun, right? And it's like when you have like your leads, your bass lines, your subs, and your kick, and everything's dope. It's like you get to like have specific placements of rhythm and percussion, and it's like I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. It's so much fun, right? However, I kept stepping through that fire, and as I got better, it became easier. And I didn't like doing it at first. When I was a personal training manager and personal training director for two different companies for 4.5 years of my life total, I didn't really like approaching people on the floor and getting leads and getting bookings because I didn't really know how to translate the focusing on a sale, which the corporate company wanted, to me actually helping someone and getting them to book and whatnot. Now it's actually way easier. You literally just go and help people on the floor. You say hi to them. You actually just make friends and associate with people. And then eventually, just let them know, like, hey, I am one of the personal training directors here. I can give you a fitness assessment and book you, and we can go over where you're at, where you want to head. I know you're in the gym for a reason now. Whether if it's to, build fat, burn muscle, gotcha. Build muscle, burn fat, recover from an injury. Whatever it is, I know where you're at, and I see from conversating with you that now I have some of your history and I know what's stopping you from getting to the next level. So, would you like to meet with me? Great. Here's my availability. You still kind of run through the thing. You get better. So that was my biggest hurdle. Because setting appointments over the phone, easy. Showing up in person and talking to someone and trying to get them to like come book with you, right? It's a little like nervous and anxiousness and more anxiety. It's like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I get rejected? Oof. It's like, no, I'm here to genuinely help you. and I'll help you design a program to show you what it's going to take to get from point A to point B. I want to assist you. And if you would like, I do have personal trainers available and I can show you some of our programs if that's something that you're interested in and you would like assistance on your journey. Cool, great, sounds good, rad. Let's get you scheduled. Piece of cake. Because at the end of it, I want them to be the most educated member on the floor. I actually genuinely wanted them to stop suffering and have some guidance at least. And 100% of the time, everybody always saw the benefit. And my closing rate was super high. My VP told me, he's like, Ventzi, if I put 10 people in front of you, I know you're going to close 8. Just was. I was really good at that job because, and I got better when and I always started off with really wanting to help people. I didn't really know how to like sales process them into it because sales is sacred, by the way. I did not expect our morning video to go this long. I don't even know why I'm getting on this topic. However, I'm just going to finish it off. Sales is sacred. Sales is the sacred key to providing someone the price of admission for them to shift their life. Because when people are struggling in their reality, they will pay you whatever's in their bank account to make a shift that they feel comfortable and they genuinely see your concern and how you want to navigate them to their point B destination. Right? So sales is how you get someone to get the help they want and need. Motivational sales video. You know what? I might start making sales videos and more motivational things. Hey, this is, our coffee time. We're just chilling. Let me know if you enjoy videos like this because I'm going to start just doing this kind of stuff. F it. Like, I'm just going to have fun. Like, I like this. It's way more relaxing. And I will focus on making some more elaborate videos too. Either way, my point is again, the people around me, like my mom and stuff, like they don't see my path and they don't see my journey. Like my mom's boyfriend's dad like doesn't see it either, and neither does her boyfriend. Like they trust that I know what I'm doing. They see that I'm motivated, yet they don't know the path because they've never done it themselves. Right? So I get a lot of kind of like backlash because it's like, well, you should just have a normal job and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I already did that. By the way, when I was 18, 19, and 20, and 22, and worked for 2 different fitness companies, I managed people way older than me. People in their 30s, 40s, 60s even. I excelled in a rate because I focused so much, and that's why I have the confidence to pivot like this. I've always been really good at working for someone else, and working for myself is the struggle because no one in my family has ever had a business. Well, I guess my dad does now. Anyway, he struggled his whole life to figure out how to do it. So, well, actually, he's had a couple businesses, and I don't know. Well, yeah, he's had a couple of them actually. Except, like, I think now he's not finally has one that's successful. That's what I heard from my brother. We don't really communicate, although we are trying to reconnect. At least I am. I don't really know why. Kind of my mom pushed me on that. However, I do see the opportunity to express. Like, I am grateful through all the stuff he put me through because I gained resilience. I gained strength. I gained fearlessness in some situations because, dang, I did not think I was going to get into this type of video. Why not? Why not? It was one of the things that my dad used to do when I would come home from school and I was grounded and I was in trouble. He would tell me, guess what? Well, not guess what, I fucking knew. I'm supposed to sit at the dinner table and sit there and do nothing. Nothing. And I will only be able to and I will only be able to eat when I'm presented to eat, like when dinner is served. And from the moment I get back home from school to like 8 p.m. or like 10 p.m., whatever, then I go to bed and just do it all over again. Like I had to do that for a while. I don't know if maybe it was like a week or two. It felt like a couple months because I sat there in my head. Imagine being like 12 or 13 and you have to freaking sit there and do nothing. Nothing. Like that's literal torture. And one time my little brother, and he was super young, he was like 3 or 4 when this happened, and like he like looked at me and he came over and he wanted to play, and then I was like, basically crying like all the time, like tears like slightly running down my face, because I just had to sit there and be in my head. And one time he wanted to play, and then like he kind of like pulled out some because there's like a bench chair thing too. We had a pretty big, still have the table. It's pretty big, and like he tried to like make it like a comfortable thing for me and play with me, and then like it was really nice because he kind of saved me from that situation for like that one day. And then like my dad allowed it too, like for him to. It's like weird. Like my little brother has always gotten away with everything. So he's grown up like a prince. And for me, for some reason, I don't know why I'd experience all that. However, I do know now that I'm grateful for all of it because I get to share this, and I'm grateful for it because it built such a resilience and strength. And while I was sitting there at the table, guess whose imagination ran wild? That's right. And a lot of the times, I would start thinking about like phasing through like the walls or becoming invisible or flying and like magical things for some reason, right? And I always was expanding like this can't be it. This can't be all there is. And by the way, if I got off that table, I would get hit. So sometimes I would get hit first, then have to go to the table if I was in really a lot of trouble. Anyway, again, it doesn't make anything he did right. However, like the only thing I could ever express to him now is like, hey, you did your best. That was the best way you knew how to love. Because there was times he was good. There was times he did do his best. There was times where, I actually really loved my dad and had a lot of good times before he became abusive to me, which was like, I think after like 8 years old, like 9-ish, he started becoming like, yeah. I don't know what happened. Either way, though, it's like, hey, I'm grateful. I understand that. This is the best version of you then. I let go of it. I let go of the resentment. I forgave it. I gave it a new meaning. That's what forgiveness is. You give something a new meaning. And when you show gratitude to a situation, guess freaking what? You heal from it. Because you can let it go. You can let that pain and suffering go, and you get to see what you benefited out of it. It may be a justification process. We as humans like to justify things so that we have a reason to make it positive. And I'd prefer to do that than to stick in the pain and sorrow and boohoo. This sucked. This happened to me. Oh, life sucks. I should be a cold person. I should be mean. And you ever see someone do like, I had this one ex. She had all these things happen to her. Always complained about it when she got drunk. How bad her life has been. How bad everybody she dated was. And me being a people pleaser then, I served her as much as I could. Either way, though, she ended up becoming and treating me in the ways that she would speak about how these people treated her. Like, you watch people change and become how they were hurt because that's what they learn, and they believe that that's how they need to be in order to, like, feel safe or secure. And a lot of narcissists are made that way because they are just deeply wounded people who don't want to do the inner work because that inner work means stepping through the fire. Ouch. May burn. You may have to look at areas in your life where you hurt someone because that ex attacked me physically once because she got jealous that I was talking to someone on Facebook, just messaging them how they were doing. And I had like one Tinder date with them. Like, and I always openly express to her who I'm talking to, what I'm doing. Like, And she just kept attacking me on it. Why were you talking to her? Why are you talking to her? I'm like, hey, I just told you like 3 times. Like, why are you still trying to get me to, like, and anyway, what ended up happening was she kept asking and asking. And I kept telling her I just wanted to check on her. She was going through a real struggle when I met her. And we just, you know, were there for, like, I was just there for her. Like, we just hung out. We cuddled a little bit. Like, no big deal. And she just kept, like, thinking there was, like, I had a different motive. I even showed her the messages. Like, I was just asking her because I saw she was getting into camera equipment and taking pictures and photography and, going on this path, this new journey. I wanted to see how she was doing. And this person always admired me. Like, she was so grateful that I was there in her life. Like, when she was struggling, she would always say that. She was just always really glad that I was there. And that's heart melting, right? Because that's all you ever want to be, for someone to show up. Either way, she kept asking, why were you that? Like, why were you messaging her? I'm like, I literally told you why 3 times specifically. Like, and then I don't know what happened. And then I finally snapped, right? And I said, yo, because I wanted her attention. Like, is that what you wanted to hear? And then she ran up on me and, like, shoved me, punched me in the stomach, slapped me across the face, blah, blah, blah. And it was not cool. And then, of course, like, I'm triggered. I like shove her off of me, like, and, like, it was yelled at her. It wasn't, like, a pleasant situation. The thing that was weird, though, is the next day, like, actually, when we went to bed, this is the messed up part, so much of a people pleaser I was. Because I was abused way worse than that. I was hurt way more by my dad. And I actually told her as we went to bed, like, I'm like, thank you for not hitting me that hard. Messed up. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, next day, I should have left that relationship very quickly. So there was a reflection that I had familiar energy patterns from my dad. And I thought that that was okay. reflection reflection of an area that I wasn't healed, and she was just showing me an area of myself that wasn't healed. Apparently I antagonized her by telling her, finally I responded in a way, or reacted in a way that I didn't want to respond as, and told her because I wanted her attention. And then she claimed, oh, but you lied. Now you lie. Now you claim that you never lie. And it's like, I don't. That was a lie, though. It was, because I was triggered at that point. And as she held it out over my head, like, oh, no, it's your fault. Like, you're the one that said this, so that's why, and you deserved it. This is what she literally told me. Because the next day I tried to talk to her about it, and she denied literally doing it. And then she finally agreed to the slap in the face, and I kept just trying to push and get it out of her, and she kept denying it like a narcissist, right? And then blaming it on me. And then finally she snapped and she said, yep, and you deserved it. She's like, I did all that and you deserved it. She didn't say it like that. She said this. She said, you poked the bear. What did you think was going to happen? You deserved it. Like, no, I didn't. Still stayed in that relationship because I felt stuck. I was a little financially dependent on her during that 2020 time when things were rough. So, it's okay though. I don't know why I got on this. I hope this serves you. However, everything's a reflection, right? And I'm grateful for it because now, I never, ever, ever will put myself in a position like that. I know what signs to look for. Sometimes you got to get on the roller coaster. You got to experience some of these red flags. Sometimes, you're not going to be tall enough to ride this ride, and that's okay. You might get on it anyway somehow, and it's going to throw you through a loop, and it's going to be a wild roller coaster. Maybe you shouldn't have got on it. However, the end result, I'm not hopping on that again. It's the longest video I ever made. Probably the most vulnerable. No, made a more vulnerable one earlier. F it. Vulnerability, baby. Highly, highly coffee time expression. Let me know, have any of you experienced stuff like this? Any of it all? In the comments below. Either way, I hope everybody is is doing well. I have unconditional love. I only want the best for people, because as much as a reflection that I've gotten, the people that want to do the inner work will end up having to step through that fire. They'll have to look at themselves and be like, I did that to that person. She didn't want to admit it, right? She didn't want to admit what she put me through, because it would hurt to look at that. She's already been through enough stuff where she thought she was broken. She thought she was broken goods. Do you think, like, if somebody looked at themselves after they did that, like, wouldn't they be like, oh crap, now they're even more broken? Now they're even a bad person on top of it? Yeah. And I still try to love her after that. I still try to make it work. I still did my best. Anyway, there's more to it. I'll go into more relationship stuff later. Again, I didn't expect this video, so have a wonderful, magnificent, transformative, alchemizing day, cosmic soul. Here's some of my journey. Here's what I've been going through. Everything's just a reflection. No matter how bad it may seem, everything has a benefit if you give yourself the permission slip to see the benefit. If you give yourself the permission slip that this is good for me in some kind of way, I may not be able to see it now. I will see it when I look back after I've experienced it. So don't worry so much. Have fun with things. And know this is just a projection, right? So again, a reflection to give you clarity, even in tarot card readings. Ta-da! That's our video for today. Pause and claws and pause and pause. Pause and claws and claws and pause. All right, love and light vibration. Have a wonderful, magnificent, transformative, alchemizing day, beautiful soul. Bye.